All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go over the first half of your review. I want to show you right now, this is your formula sheet. Excuse me, it picks up everything you say on this recording. So, okay, this is your formula sheet. It has the unit circle. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, it has the unit circle. Notice it doesn't have negatives. Just remember, you go backwards. This is negative 30, negative 45. It might take you a few more seconds because they're not written there, but I do expect you to be able to do them. Remember, cosine, sine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent are not on there. Okay, you do have to know what those are. Okay. Your Pythagorean theorem is on here. Your distance formula to find the length is on here. Your midpoint formula is on here. Okay. 30, 60, 90, and 45, 45, 90 is on here. So you can make sure you have that. Rotations of 90, 180, and 270 are on here. And reflections for x equals 0, y equals 0, y equals x, and y equals negative x are on here. Oh, yay. That should be enough for you guys to be able to do fine on this exam. I do want you to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Okay? Is there any questions about this formula sheet before we go over the exam stuff? No? Okay. All right. Inverse. If Zach does not receive a Lego City set for his birthday, he will not be happy. Then he will not be happy. Okay? Yes?
Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. Never mind.
You're good?
I didn't read it,
okay. Converse. Please, gentlemen, if you don't be quiet, I'm going to ask you to leave. This exam is worth 20% of your grade. I need you to pay attention. If Zach is happy, then he receives a Lego City set for his birthday. If Zach is happy, he received a Lego City set for his birthday. Okay. Contrapositive, if Zach is not happy, then he did not receive a Lego City set for his birthday. If Zach is not happy, then he did not receive a Lego City set for his birthday. Okay? All right. We know that the converse is not necessarily true. There are other reasons why Zach might be happy. Okay? No, Zach could be happy with a train set. That was just an example. Yours might be different. You could say he would be happy for something else. Okay? All right. Definition of inductive. Definition of inductive. Inductive reasoning is a drawing or conclusion based upon a series of examples or patterns. Example 1, 2, 3. The next one would be 4. Okay. Deductive reasoning is a conclusion based on facts. Is a conclusion based on facts. Okay, and an example might be 2x equals 10, where x equals 5. I have a lot of people say, what if I put rules instead of facts? That's fine. Remember, it's going to be multiple choice. It's going to be like, is this an example of inductive? You know, and it'll show you, or pick an example of inductive, and I'll show you a bunch of different ones. Yes, ma'am.
How many questions are there?
48.
Oh,
yes.
Is the whole test multiple choice?
Yes. All right, we're going to move to some definitions. We're going to move to definitions. Quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. A quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Okay. Parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two pairs of parallel opposite sides. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with two pairs of opposite sides. Parallel opposite sides. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel opposite sides. And a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel opposite sides. Isosceles trapezoid is a trapezoid with congruent legs, the non-parallel sides. The base angles are congruent. The base angles are congruent. Number 9, a kite is a quadrilateral with two pairs of congruent adjacent sides. Two pairs of congruent adjacent sides. Ten is a rectangle is a parallelogram with right angles. 10 is a rectangle is a parallelogram with right angles. Okay. 11 is a rhombus with one pair of congruent adjacent sides. At least, I think it's supposed to be two pairs though. All four sides of a rhombus are congruent. Number 12, a square is everything a rhombus and a rectangle is. A square is everything a rhombus and a rectangle is. Okay. 13, or I think it's actually 12, the second 12, is, let me zoom in on this. Your flow chart. Okay. So, quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. The sum of interior angles are 360. A trapezoid has exactly one pair of congruent sides. An isosceles trapezoid, the legs are congruent. Common base angles are congruent. Uncommon base angles are supplementary and diagonals are congruent. Parallelogram, both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. Opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary, and diagonals bisect each other. A rectangle, at least one right angle. They end up all being right angles. Diagonals are congruent. Rhombus, at least two consecutive sides are congruent. All sides end up being congruent. Diagonals bisect the angles. Diagonals are perpendicular. Diagonals form four right triangles. Congruent right triangles. Square, both a rectangle and rhombus. Diagonals form four congruent isosceles right triangles. Kite, two disjointed pairs of consecutive sides are congruent. They are perpendicular bisectors. Diagonals bisect opposite angles and one set of congruent angles. Okay? There's a lot of information up here. This is what you need. Okay? If it says which one of these have perpendicular bisectors, perpendicular diagonals, you can tell me which one. If it says which ones have four right angles, you can tell me which ones. Does that make sense? It's not like you're going to have to recreate this on your multiple choice exam, right? It's going to ask you questions about this. Like a square, is it always, never, or sometimes a rectangle? Always. Okay? So it's going to be questions like that. Does that make sense? Okay. You ready for 13/14 because I have two number 12s? The midpoint formula. Can I get rid of this? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The midpoint formula, which is going to be on your formula sheet that I will hand you. You add the x's together, divide by 2. Add the y's together, divide by 2. So 5 plus 8 divided by 2 is 6.5. Negative 2 plus 3 divided by 2 is 0.5. Okay. Number 14/15. The distance formula, or if it asks you to find the length of anything. Okay? So later on, you know those. You'll have those shapes. You'll have to find the lengths of all four sides, the slopes of all four sides, the midpoint of the diagonals, the length of the diagonals. Okay, you need all this stuff in there. Okay, if we have the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay, if we plug in the numbers, we have the square root of 5 minus 8 squared plus negative 2 minus 3 squared. Okay. 5 minus 8 is 9. Negative 2 minus 3 is 5. Squared is 25. 5 minus 8 is not 9. 5 minus 8 is 3. Squared is 9. Okay? And then if 9 plus 25 is 34, the square root of 34 is approximately 5.8. Okay? 45, 45, 90-degree triangles. We did that to make those boxes up there. We used it some in trade. We'll see it more. If two sides are 8, the other side has to be 8 square root 2, and you'll have an example of those triangles on your formula sheet. I'm teaching right here and recording. Supplementary is 180 degrees. Complementary is 90 degrees. Okay. Your unit circle stuff. This should have been easy stuff. We just learned it. Cosine of negative 150 is negative square root 3 over 2. Sine of 90 is 1. Tangent of negative 30 is negative square root 3 over 3. Secant of negative 210 is negative 2 square root 3 over 3. Cosecant of 450 is 1. Cotangent of 30 is square root 3. Any questions about these? Okay, we are going to stop here. Okay, we are going to go over the rest on Tuesday. So if you were absent, you need to make sure you finish the rest of this for credit. If you were not, if you've done all of this, I would look over, especially this first part again. If there was a problem that you got a different answer than me, do it this weekend. Cover it up. Try it again. Okay? You can also watch this video. It's recorded currently. It'll be up on my website.